All right, so this is going to be our day one, well, one of our day one videos for Unit 4. One of three, I believe. There's going to be three here to this lesson. First, we're going to answer EQ1, and then, of course, we'll answer EQ2 in this video. So, EQ1, what is a quadrilateral? Well, it's simply a polygon uh, with four sides and or vertices. Okay, so here we see an obvious quadrilateral. It's a polygon with one, two, three, four vertices or four side lengths, right? Okay, so that brings us into EQ2. So what is area? Well, area, to put it simply, is well, I can put it a crap ton of different ways. So, like the proper way to put it, it is the 2D quantification of space. Right? But if you don't want to be fancy and you don't want to say quantification, you can just say the 2D measurements of space. Okay, and we will be using square units for this because that's what area is, right? Because if we get even more layman with the definition of area, we would simply, if we were trying to tell a little kid about what area is, we would simply say it's the measure of how many squares, and we'll say square units, something's made of. Okay, and to illustrate this further, we have an example here, and you'll see this example in the do now, or you have seen it in the do now, unless you were absent or something, which is why you're watching this. Okay, so I'm going to skip the math where we get the side lengths. So this side would be 12, this side would be 16, right? And if we ask ourselves, right, and I'm going to draw one kind of separate out over here, we ask ourselves if this is 12 inches and this is 16 inches, and we were using 1 inch squares, so 1 by 1, right? So if I blow that up larger, 1 inch by 1 inch, and these are perfect squares, right? How many could we line across this way? Well, we could line across 16, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Let's pretend I did that right. Okay, so we would have 16 across. Okay, and how many could I stack up? Well, duh, we would have 12 going up and down, right? So basically, what we would end up doing is we would say we have 12 rows of 16 or 12 times 16. Okay, so handy dandy calculator, 12 times 16, and we get 192. So it takes 192 1 inch squares to build this, right? And because it takes that many squares, it takes 192 1 inch squares to build, we would say that this rectangle, this blue rectangle right here, has an area of 192 inches squared or square inches. Okay. So, another example. So, we've got Penelope here, who's a farmer. I'll give you a minute to read this. But she wants to know how many potatoes she can plant on her 2 acre plot of land, right? And then we've got some unit conversions to do here, right? So a yard is 3 feet. Keep that in mind. And we also see on the first thing we're being asked, an acre is 43.56 thousand square feet. Okay. So each potato plant needs 1 square yard, right? So that's 1 square yard. Of course, it's supposed to be YD, right? So she has 2 acres, right? So we can basically say, she's got an acre here, right? Each one has this much within it. So 43,560, and that's uh, square feet, right? How many square yards is Penelope's plot of land, right? So what we would want to do first there is go ahead and multiply 43,560 times 2, or you could just add it by itself twice, right? Now, if we want to know how many square yards, well, we refer back to the fact that um, every square yard is 3 feet, right? So we're going to take this square footage and just divide by 3, okay? And that gives us 29.040 thousand square yards, okay? 29.040 thousand square yards. Okay, so then we can just use common sense on this next one. How many potatoes would she be able to plant? Well, every potato needs 1 square yard. So that means she can plant exactly that same amount. That was a poor choice of abbreviation there. But anyway, that's all area is. That in essence is going to also wrap up about what quadrilaterals are. So that's our little intro video to area. Okay, so if you have any further questions about area or anything else related to this video, shoot me an email or otherwise you know where to find me. Goodbye.